I have come across people who want to help but are afraid to help. At one time, I was one of those people until I figured out that if I didn't speak up, I was going to get trampled. But that doesn't have to be that severe. I understand that your fear of public speaking, your fear of having your face out front or being taken a picture with a group, or just maybe being associated with the group might be a little intimidating, or might affect your employment, or maybe some relatives that are in your family might find that unacceptable. And for whatever your fear is for not speaking up and advocating for yourself or for others, there's other ways to do that, to be able to advocate without being in front. Besides registering to vote and voting, registering your friends. It's not an extreme position one way or the other. It's just a way to get people to start getting involved and getting educated on the issues. Other thing to do is have a little dinner party with your closest friends that you already have, or your family, and just talk to them or listen to them about what their concerns are, and try to turn it where it's not a political or extreme position, but a moderate position, because people are going to have polarizing views, as I had with my father. But we did agree on a couple things, and that was family, and that was less taxes, if possible, and also the opportunity to gain wealth. His way of doing that was different from my way, but we can meet in the middle about how we can work together on these issues. There's a way for other people to do that without having to be in front of a camera, without having to put themselves out front in a meeting or host a rally. Just support those who are willing to be out front by working with them. If it's writing postcards, registering people to vote, donating money to people who are running for office that want to make the change you want to see. And I think the last thing to do is also write your electeds. Write them a letter, find out who your electeds and your representatives are, and write them a letter about what you feel needs to be addressed. And that's the simplest way to do it as an individual without having to jump out front. I'm not going to say if, because if you're making those first steps, but when you do make the leap, because when you start getting involved, you're going to start getting stronger and you're going to have more courage. And when you do that, you're going to inspire other people who were afraid to make that leap with you. And you're not going to be alone. You're going to build friendships. You're going to build a community. You're going to end up having a coalition. And when if the reason why you were afraid to make that leap was because you felt alone, once you make the leap, you won't be alone, because other people are going to see you and they're going to have your back and support you. That's the thing I learned when I was experiencing discrimination and hate and intimidation. I felt so alone. But when I made the leap to start advocating for myself, I gained a chosen family. I gained the support that I didn't think I was ever going to have, because I knew the area I lived in. And I got to a position now, years later, where I'm actually organizing and building and even affecting policy change throughout every single level of the Commonwealth, from the governor all the way down to the school board member here in Prince William County, and to the governor of the Commonwealth. I'm able to have some kind of access to them that I've never had a few years ago, because I made that leap. And I brought my friends and my family, the chosen family, with me, so their voices are getting heard too. So when you make the leap, know that you're not going to be alone, and know that you will be seen. So when I first got involved in 2015, I was just a member of my local Democratic Party. I was also a volunteer for a couple of organizations. Shortly after that, I became the chairwoman of the Brentsville Democratic Committee here in Prince William County. I also became a CD1 delegate, which my vote matters for helping to elect the next president. Through the Democratic Party, the person who's going to run as the president for the Democratic Party. I ended up working with other organizations outside of Prince William County, and because of my experiences and what I was able to accomplish with building a coalition in the Brentsville district. When we started off, we were 5 members. Few months down the road, we were 30 deep. And now a few years later, we have a lot more people who are involved that would have never been involved. I've also worked with the DEA and the Department of Justice. I do public speaking events there. I do television interviews. I've also organized rallies. When the it was 2018, the last time that we've gotten KKK literature drop here in this area. And I organized a Community Unity Against Hate event where we had over 60 people show up, and we had other organizations that were against hate as well show up, that weren't political but social justice issues organizations. I had almost every elected in this area come and stop by and talk, and we worked with the Human Rights Commission of Prince William County, and from there led me to working with the Human Rights Commission, advocating for immigrants' rights and advocating for LGBTQ people, and to what's going to be happening here in a few days, which is accepting an award for 2019 for my work in human rights here in Prince William County. I am honored for that. It happened because I was afraid for my safety and for my family, and it encouraged me to step up and advocate for myself. And now I'm seen as a community leader, and now the community is recognizing me. From that experience, I had the courage to launch my own organization. It's called Casa BruMar Foundation. And we're gonna build the first LGBTQ community center here in Prince William County. There is no LGBTQ community center in Northern Virginia. The closest center is in DC or in Richmond. So when the LGBTQ community is lacking resources or an extended family to help support them through things, we have to do a network of friends and send them the help that they need so they can go to DC or to Richmond. Well, we're gonna change that. If this is your home, you should feel safe here. And so we're gonna try to build a community center, so that you can stay safe here. And that was a big undertaking for me. Scary again. But I made the leap because I've made a leap before, and I'm not afraid of making it successful.